Hi, I'm Renee Scherzer, and welcome to the LightWork Podcast, a place for honest conversations about leadership, faith, purpose, and the deeper work that shapes who we become. LightWork is the inner work that grounds us. It's the realization that success alone was never the whole story. Today's conversation is one I think our culture desperately needs that requires us to set down our assumptions and pick up something a bit more difficult: curiosity. And there is no place right now where that curiosity is needed more than in how we talk about generations in the workplace. We've inherited a narrative that pits experience against expectation, wisdom against ambition, stability against meaning, and I think we can be better navigators. I believe every generation carries something the next one needs, and every generation carries wounds the previous one unknowingly passed down. So before we get started and I introduce my guest, we're going to dive into some data. So Gen X, that's my generation, ages 45 to 60. We carry the highest average debt of any generation, and we're frequently called the forgotten generation in workplace conversations because we're sandwiched between the millennials and the baby boomers. We've weathered the dot-com bubble, the 2008 Great Recession, and the COVID pandemic. Only 51% of Gen X report feeling satisfied with their job and career, and 55% worry that they won't ever have enough money to retire. Now, my guest is Gen Z, and her name is Sophia Wadsworth. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, Sophia's generation, these are ages 13 to 28. They are entering the workforce where 40% feel unprepared, nearly half report burnout before their careers have even begun, and the majority are asking a question my generation rarely felt permission to ask. If this work doesn't have meaning, why am I doing it? Now, there's anxiety and stress before they even step foot, and mental health is a top priority. However, they are the fastest growing segment of the workforce and are the most entrepreneurial. So now both generations have struggles. We're just maybe a little bit different. My generation climbed the ladder. Many of us reached the top only to still feel empty, whereas Sophia's generation is refusing to climb a ladder unless that leads to meaning. So today we're not here to debate. I'm actually super excited about the conversation. We're here to build a bridge. And so when we, let's just jump in and meet Sophia. She is, aside from a fantastic human being, Sophia Wadsworth recently graduated from NAU with a master's in human resources, was a D1 athlete, volleyball player, and is just beginning her career. She's also a very strong woman of faith. Now, I'm Generation X with 30 years of financial services, also raising 3 Gen Zers. So together, our generations represent 2/3 of the workforce. So thank you again for being here and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm so excited for this. We just had lunch on Saturday and we were, there was so much conversation. I'm like, we've got to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation. Okay, who is Sophia? Like, how would you describe yourself so people who don't know you can learn a little bit?
Oh my gosh. Well, my name is Sophia. I am 22 years old. I just graduated college. I had a 5-year student athlete career at NAU, and we actually, this past season, we won our conference championship, which was amazing to end on a high note. And I grew up in a family full of athletes. My dad played professional football. All of my sisters and I included played volleyball. I've been playing volleyball, oh my gosh, like 12 years, and now I'm trying to figure out who Sophia is without volleyball and without school. So it's just been a exciting, nerve-wracking, almost scary journey, but I'm excited to sit tight and see where the Lord takes me.
I love that. And your sisters and dad and mom are fantastic.
Yes.
I love that. Yes. So I've been blessed to know Sophia probably, at least for 12 years.
Yeah. Your sister taught me when I was literally 3.
Yes. Even longer. What am I saying?
Yeah.
So you're beginning your career, the most, kind of this new season of life. What scares you the most?
Oh my gosh. When you sent me over kind of the framework of this podcast, I was like, the thing that scares me the most, but also excites me the most, is that at this point, anything is possible. Like, I've been a student athlete for my whole life, just playing volleyball, going to school, and now I don't have that. So literally anything is possible, and I'm discovering who I am outside of that athlete and student space, what drives me, what kind of leader I want to be, and what kind of leader motivates me the best. So it's this new season of life has just been so much discovery, so much learning. Oh my gosh. But that's
all blue waters.
So exciting.
All blue waters. I love that. So I had Dan on, Dan O'Brien, who is a fantastic individual and won the gold in the decathlon 1996 we talked about the identity, and that was a big thing. And what's interesting is what I'm finding in your generation is identity is important, is doing the work to find that. Do you find that?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, right now, since I've been trying to figure out who I am outside of being an athlete, it's honestly been pretty tough because I've been doing this whole thing my whole life, and it ends on a random whatever day that was, and now it's time to build something new, because at the end of the day, sports aren't going to go on forever, and I feel like it's really hard to prepare for that until you're actually in it. Like, I've been doing a ton of, not really the best, but preparation for when volleyball in college goes away. But you can never prepare for something until it really happens. And I've been trying to rework my mind that this is an ongoing preparation in a way. It's not just a quick fix. So that's something that I've been going through.
I'm going through identity too. And in my generation, we were just taught after college, just put your head down and grind and just work. And it was never about the self-reflection. And now raising your, Gen Zers, it's like you're already doing the work. So what you're doing today is going to help you so many decades down the road. And I love that. I think that is fantastic. So what is your dream career? What does that look like?
Oh my gosh, my dream career. I honestly just want something that gives me purpose. And second, I would say I'm able to cultivate meaningful relationships and through that gain success.
I love that.
And that's always been how I am. Like, being on a sports team, I hate to just loop it back into there, but I've always been very success and purpose driven, and also just the relational aspect is just extremely huge for me.
What I love is you never said salary. You never said income. I mean, obviously money is important, but that wasn't one of your first few things. Yeah, I mean, of course money is important, but kind of how I believe is if I have those two things, the salary will come. I don't know how, but I just know in my heart and trusting God's plan that if I have those two things and I'm sticking to God's plan, the salary will come. Well, and what I love about what you said too, and what my generation is looking at, having left a career of 30 years in financial services, it was very interesting to me that all of a sudden, like, I felt like color was turned on in my life. And where you guys are looking for that at the onset, my generation is looking for it now. So, I said the statistic earlier of over 50% are looking for purpose, and you guys are going in looking for purpose. And so I think, we can learn from both of us. And I think that is, that I think is what I'm so excited about this conversation. So, okay, so be honest. I will not be insulted. Any listeners when I say, because you do have parents that are Gen Xers. When I say Gen Xer, what comes to mind when I say Generation X to you?
Oh my gosh. When you say Generation X, I think of a generation that is honestly really resilient. Your guys' work ethic is beyond measure, which is super applauding to you guys. But I also think because of that resilience in work ethic, a lot of things can get lost in translation between my generation and yours, because you guys are very like, it's been done X amount of ways for this many years. We're keeping it the same because it worked for us. And that not necessarily doesn't work for everyone. It might work for some people in my generation, but not everyone. And I think this conversation is good to include that piece, but I think you guys have great work ethic. You guys are extremely resilient, but due to that, you guys are like, we succeeded this way, so this is the way it has to be.
Yeah. I think a lot of, and even like my husband, Chris is a little bit that way too, where it's like we get stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
And honestly, because I'm going to say what I think about Gen Z too.
Yeah, go for it. Maybe we think the same thing.
I am not shy. But thank you for that, because I do really love that you acknowledge that. And I think we're so proud of that.
Yeah.
And up until this journey I was personally on the last 2 years, I was, I kept saying Gen Z is going to change the world, because I feel like what you guys look at, things, and I do think that purpose part is important, because it does take you further and gives you more energy and work. But also, I like that you're bringing faith back. I like that you are getting married and having children and doing some wonderful things. But I also had some resentment of your generation. And, having had 3 kids and having to hide every pregnancy, in the field I was in, until I couldn't bear it anymore.
Yeah.
But also, we were part of that group, and like we cold called 8 hours a day, and we had to, it's like that story, dredge the snow to get to work.
Yeah.
But what I learned in this journey of my own self-reflection was to also look at the other generations differently. So we have millennials between us. And I think I'm now doing workshops and trainings with millennials who are remarkable. And they have a way of just making revenue and generating different insight into how do we, build and create. And so what I would say about Gen Z now versus after I've done that self-reflection is that together, really with us at the helm, but also with that curiosity and tact, I think can be some really and obviously our millennials and baby boomers around us, I think we can set a really remarkable culture and build together. But sure. I think you guys I do like how you're looking at things. I like that, I showed Ethan what not to do. So you guys are now changing. So I love that. So now, as we talked about, we were taught, put your head down, don't say anything, just work. Success comes first. I was very blessed to build a business, sell it, and get to retire earlier and start a new mountain. But a lot of people don't. And so I'm very thankful for that. But what was the message that you experienced, like you felt you were hearing as you were growing up? Now, I just knew we just worked. What about you?
Honestly, the messaging was pretty similar with some added layers and some reworked framework. While I was growing up, I was always taught to work hard, stay loyal, and through that, success will come. Not success comes first. And instead of that, success coming first, it was taught that your personal truths and values come first.
I love that.
And you always stay true to yourself, because if you aren't staying true to yourself and your personal values, and if you are a person of faith, staying true to your faith, you're not going to be successful at the end of the day. No. You could be making, I don't know, millions of dollars, but if you're compromising your personal values and your faith, you're going to feel very empty inside. And that was just something that's always been taught to me through my parents growing up, growing up in church. That's just always been my mindset when I'm going through things, and just always staying true to myself, but also not letting, I can stay true to myself and be like, I don't want to get out of bed till 10 o'clock every day. But no, it's staying true to myself and also applying and working hard, and the success will come through that.
I love that. And I think what's great about that, and also, having the parents you had, having the faith that you had younger, helping you with that, I feel like we didn't necessarily have that ourselves. And so when you're coming into environments, unless you have a leader who does feel that way and understands that has to be a little bit difficult as well. Yeah,
for sure. And like I said before, hard work is so extremely important. You have to do the hard work to get to where you want to be, of course, but it should not require you sacrificing who you truly are and who you are as a person.
Well, and it's interesting because I've always spoken up for what's right, and whether it's outside of the workforce, in the workforce, and not every environment is welcome, or whether it's industry, or it's always interesting to me, and for myself or for my colleagues. So now your generation is looking for purpose and also refusing to settle, which I do like. I've talked to my son Ethan, who's 25, and he's shared with me too some of the challenges his friends are having in the workforce. What about your friends that also in your community? Where are you finding your friends? Are they having challenges like entering the workforce, trying to fit into cultures, are they kind of just going through the motions? Like where are you seeing your circle of people?
Oh my gosh, of course. Like, I feel like now, especially with the job market, economics, all that kind of stuff, it's extremely hard to start a career in something you want to do.
Yeah.
Even if you have the degree, even if you have multiple degrees in it.
Yeah.
Places, I mean, I'm not an economics person by all means, but places just are, I don't know if they're reluctant because of experience in industries that we went to school for, but places are just not hiring at that
entry level.
That entry level.
Yeah.
And if it is at that entry level, by all means, people aren't attached and they feel like they don't have any purpose.
Yeah.
Like a couple of my friends who are working these entry-level corporate jobs, they feel like they have the schooling, they have the base knowledge of what they want to do. Yeah. Why am I doing crappy work that someone who doesn't have my degree could do, but since I have my degree, in a way, some people thinks it comes off as entitlement, especially Generation X. They're like, we started at the bottom cold calling all day and night. We came to the office at 7 a.m., didn't leave till 8 o'clock. So you need to do that. But I believe my generation, and like I said, it comes off as an entitlement, but I don't think so. We're asking questions like, why does it have to be this way if we're able to excel?
Well, and some of it, because I will push back there.
Yeah.
Because to me, it does sound entitlement.
Yeah.
And so this is where, I think from a Generation Z needs to understanding entering the workforce is some of those entry level jobs are going to be the bottom of the barrel. Yeah. We're still doing them, even as leaders. And someone's got to do them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So I think in those situations, I would encourage them and even for leaders to say, this is the work you're doing today, but this is the trajectory. And I think that would be helpful to say, this is just just a stepping stone, but down the road, this is the plan in the next 3 months, 6 months. Because that's where I feel like that kind of mismatch is just a matter of communication.
And I totally agree. Like, you just got out of college, you got to start somewhere, and that doesn't mean you're starting at manager of whatever.
Exactly.
You need to start, you need experience. But I do think that gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
If a boss is just, here you go, do this, and then shut up and then go home. Yeah. There needs to be like, there needs to be kind of that bridge you were talking about building. Like, this is going to prepare you for that next step in your career. This is going to prepare you for even outside of your career. Yeah. Just that level of communication from leaders to my generation that is going into the workforce with experience or without. But I just think there needs to be clearer and more honest communication.
Yeah. Well, and generationally, you guys are more of the generation that requires more coaching and feedback.
Yes.
And I think everyone requires coaching and feedback. Yeah. And so when it's kind of funny when we're talking generations, I think every single person can do better with that. Unfortunately, sometimes leaders don't represent that.
Of course.
Yeah, and I think that's where sometimes when we have, like right now, I mean, there's companies that have, 5 generations working under the same roof. Yeah. We've got the silent generation that are, 80.
Oh my gosh, they're still working.
There are some. My mom is 79 today, and she is actually still working. So she will be working like late 80. And then you've got, the baby boomers. You got our generation. And I honestly just think if we can all like work together and say, okay, what are your expectations? This is our expectations. But I think we can learn, because I do think the coaching and feedback loop is really good. And I think that takes away some of the like questions like, I'm overqualified for what I'm doing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, especially me, I'm a very upfront and honest person, and I love when people are direct and upfront with me. Yeah. So if we could just eliminate I wouldn't say tension, but just the weirdness that we're all in these separate bubbles of generations. Why can't we all just come together and understand? And that's also on like my generation's part, to understand the other different generations. Yeah. Like, why can't we all just come together and better understand each other instead of getting offended?
Well, it is amazing because there is some where you've got to keep your mouth shut sometimes, or you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's the collaborative nature and environments have the best workforces. It's been shown.
Of course.
Diverse thought, diverse opinions, diversity in generations, and all across the board. So I asked my son this, Ethan, this before we met.
Yeah.
I said, it was surprising to me that it was like over 50% of the Gen Zers are coming to the workforce already stressed with stress and anxiety. And his answer was because they are afraid of becoming us. How would you agree with that, or do you feel differently about that?
I agree with that to a level. A lot of us were little kids during the 2008 recession, so I think that had a ton to do with it. I was 6, I think. So we would come home, and I'm a 6-year-old, so I don't know anything about work.
Yeah.
We would see our parents overworked, tired, stressed out, and giving their whole lives to a company that just saw them as a number.
Yeah.
So it really showed to us that no matter how hard you work and no matter how loyal you are, at the end of the day, you're just a number.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is how some places are. And
I
think
agree.
Our generation saw that and took it like, why would I give my whole life to a place that at the end of the day, they could just lay me off at any second, and I'm replaceable at the end of the day.
And I don't think we give, we look at it from our eyes, but I don't think we give the enough credit to that, of what you witnessed and seen and experienced. Because, we talked a money story when I have my friend Kim, who's an advisor on, and we talk about you develop your money story at, kindergarten. Yeah. And it's like, what you experience, you know? And most parents don't even talk to their kids about money. They shut the door. Whereas you guys also witnessed, even you guys were part of that Great Recession.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You were part of COVID and witnessing what was happening to your parents. And I think there's a different side of that sometimes we forget looking at. Yeah,
and I also think totally different from that social media, unfortunately, I hate to say the big social media and technology world we live in, but I mean, we're honestly the first generation to have that in our face from a very young age.
Okay, so after we have to stop for a break, for a commercial break here, but after we get back, I do have a question about that for you.
Okay,
so we're going to pause for a break. Okay, thank you. So along the lines of social media, so for one thing I'm hearing from your generation too is AI, that you're not loving it as much as the world is. You're responding the same way. This was new to me.
Oh my gosh. I have a love-hate relationship.
Yes.
I love it when I need to know something super quick and not need to scroll through someone's blog post from 2010. But I also hate it because it feels inauthentic. Yeah. I am a person that values honesty and authenticity. And I don't know, if I see something and it's totally AI generated, I'm like, get this off of my face.
Well, you guys noticed
it. Inauthentic. And I can, you might think you're hiding it, but I can totally see what's going on.
Well, so I remember showing to, Natalie and Addison, I showed them pictures. I'm like, how is this woman, my age, and she looks like this? And they both looked at it, and within seconds were like, Mom, she's AI. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's AI. And then I'm noticing it a little bit more, but you guys grew up, but even Ethan said, he's like, it's not, you guys are using it in a way from some efficiencies, but not where some of the world is looking at going, it's going to, change the world. You guys are almost not even 100% like, this is a big part of our life.
And honestly, when I was thinking about this podcast, I think AI in the workforce is also taking the purpose out of it.
Yeah.
If I need to work on a slide deck to do a proposal, a big business proposal or something, I want to do the slide deck. I don't want I don't want to give a 3-4 sentence summary to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever and have it do it for me. Yeah. That just takes the whole, it's very easy and it keeps things moving quick. But to me, that just takes the whole purpose out of what I'm doing. Why am I sitting in an office to go just talk to Claude all day? Yeah, exactly. And when I could be doing something and making the proposal myself and not.
I love that.
Yeah.
Using your mind.
Using my mind.
Well, and it was interesting because today I was testing something for Shark Week, and I was entertaining myself after coming back from Turks and Caicos. But I asked a question of Claude and then of chat. And it came up with different answers. And I was just like, it was a different kind of leaning. And I'm thinking, it's almost, it was like a game to me. And I thought, if anybody, it could be a tool, but I am just like, I was shocked that your generation was like, I'm thinking, am I missing something in this? But what I keep hearing is that you guys aren't as excited about it or interested in it as I would think you would be.
No, I would be okay if it went away tomorrow, to be honest. I feel like
I love that because I'm also a reader. Like I like physical books. And so it's like I love that was something new that I loved hearing about this. Now, our generation now, me having left and being very blessed to be able to retire early and start this whole second career. But a lot of people have come to me and are really struggling with finding purpose. And that to me, it's just that lack of fulfillment. They're waiting for retirement, which is like, the golden age of 65 or 67. And so where do you, when you look at that and that evolution, where do you see, like, is that something that you're witnessing as well? I mean, I'm hearing it because I'm part of it, so I'm privy to those conversations. But when you look ahead and look at the working environment, are you witnessing that as well?
Oh, of course, 100%. And I mean, you're witnessing it too. You can attest to it. I think my generation is witnessing that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I do not want that to be me. I don't want to be 50 years old and wake up and be like, what the heck did I do for the past 25 years of my life? And you can't even remember what you did, but you're sitting on top of the world, so successful, but you're like, what the heck did I do? How did I get here? And a lot of us are taking that to heart, and that's why people think we're entitled and selfish and don't think we want to settle. But at the end of the day, we don't want to start our lives when we retire. Life is so precious and so short. You shouldn't wake up one day and be like, oh my gosh, what the heck did I do?
Well, and I think our generation, like I said, with my pregnancies, I don't want the next generation. You guys have to hide your pregnancies.
Oh my gosh,
or my daughters too. I mean, it was horrible. So we want it better for the next generation. And so, which I love that. And so when I think about like looking ahead, it's like also I hear that what retirement's different to you. Whereas for us, it's like you work so many years and you get to retirement, because we were learning from the baby boomers and the silent generation. Whereas you guys are looking at it as a continuum, not where it's work life and then retirement. Would you agree with that?
I would agree to a point. I think we are craving the work-life balance, of course. We don't want it to be work for 30, 40 years, and then your life starts. We want work and life, and we want a work that is that gives you purpose, fulfills you, and then allows you to live your life outside of that.
Well, and I think we want that too, you know, and we just enter the workforce with the baby boomers ahead of us and the silencers. And so now companies, I see this because we're like, this is what we do. So do you think companies have a responsibility to create meaningful work, or do you think finding that purpose ultimately the individual's responsibility?
Oh, I totally think it's the individual's responsibility. I think it is the company's job to provide an environment that cultivates feeling fulfilled and supported. But ultimately, that's on you. If you're in an industry and you're like, I know this is not where I want to be, I don't feel fulfilled, you can either figure out a way, make friends, network with people to give you that purpose, or, hate to say it, find something else. Life's too short to have that wake-up call when it's too late.
Because I think some companies are finding like, well, why is it our job? We're providing the work, we're trying the income. So we have a lot of leaders that listen. And being a leader, and I'm a student of leadership, and my book is on leadership. What do you think leadership? What would make a good leadership for your generation, or a good leader for your generation?
Honestly, my ideal healthy leader is someone that people genuinely want to follow and learn from, but not out of fear that they're a person in power or have authority, but because they are someone that is not only trustworthy, honest, intentional, and wants to support the others that they're leading. For example,
bring them along.
Bring them along. Someone who communicates clearly consistency is a big thing.
Yeah.
Admitting when something is not working, but also very direct and honest. Doesn't leave any blurred lines, any gray area, but also genuinely wants to support someone, but not just saying that they want to support you.
Yeah. Through actions.
Yes, through action.
Well, I love the directness because I'm someone who's very direct, and some people who've worked for me haven't always, been received that well. So I think sometimes, I think it's the best way to not waste time.
Yeah.
And obviously,
I totally agree.
So we, okay, so what is one thing that our generation, when you look ahead at those of us who are really in those positions or at that income level that you eventually strive to be, what do you think we're getting right?
Like I said before, your guys' work ethic and resilience is insane. Almost too good.
I don't know if it's such a badge of honor. Yeah.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, almost too good because of what we witnessed and you guys pushing through maybe the worst and harmful work environment, but still pushing through because you feel like
we had to.
You have to. Yeah. So I would say that is something I really applaud, and I
look back just to make you laugh at your age. I was cold calling 8 hours a day, and it's kind of like, again, my version of walking through the snow 2 miles to get to school. But, every line was 25 dials, and I would mark a little X, and by the end of the first line of 25 dials, I would do 25 push-ups. My next line of 25 dials, then I would be able to run to the restroom. My next 25 dials, get a cup of coffee. And 8 hours later, I was, now then developing my day for the, my schedule for the next day. So, so I think, for our generation, we just had it a little bit, our environment, but what yours, I really do wish we had it more like yours, to be honest, because the stress it brought over those years, I look back and I think about what, just the anxiousness, the stress, the loss, the lack of sleep. And I know it does teach us something, but having stepped away 3 months ago, I'm like, wow, like as much as I loved what I did and I love my clients, I miss people. I feel a little sad that I had so many hours grinding it out. So what do you think is one thing that that we can learn? And this would be even the millennial, your superiors, like millennials or Gen Z or baby boomers. So what do you think of the older generations beyond Gen Z could learn from you? Or not just you specifically. But
my generation. I think the older generations could learn that it's okay to ask why in obviously a respectful way, but it's okay to ask why from a place of wanting to understand. Like, why do we measure productivity by how many hours of unpaid overtime you do for no reason when you could be delivering something quicker? I think it's okay. I think the older generations need to know that by us asking why and challenging the way things were done this many years, it's not because we're entitled and we think you should do it this way. We're just simply asking why. We're curious. Like, how would I know? I'm new to this.
You guys do want more engagement.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, and I think for what I feel like, if I were to answer that question is what I think Gen Z could learn from us would be is, maybe approaching us in a way of, I think what you shared, I think a lot of sometimes Gen X doesn't hear and just say, you know what, it's so remarkable.
They're like, it's been this way forever.
And I just, but almost like validate the path before you.
I think
that, not be like,
not
like somebody's ego.
But there's a way to do it.
Yeah, and just say, this is something, that was done before, and just acknowledgement of that, I think is all. But honestly, because when I was in it, like literally even just the last couple of years, there was a period of time I was like, what is going on with this younger generation?
I know, I don't blame you.
Yes,
no one knows if they don't talk.
And I couldn't figure out Ethan because he was supposed to be my successor, and I'm like, what is going on? I showed him and then I realized I was showing him what not to do. Not realizing it was a generational thing. I was thinking it was just my child. And so now I'm learning, it's like, wow. But now I'm seeing it from a different lens, and I wish I would have done that earlier. And so, and even for the millennial generation, there was always, what I just don't understand, there's always so much judgment of stereotypes of, each generation. And it's like,
and it's hard to get those out of your head if before you meet a person, you're already thinking that.
You're already thinking that. Millennials have had a really bad mark over their head, but I have coaches right now that are 20 years younger than me, one's 15 years younger, and they are remarkable. And what they're doing and how they're navigating is skill sets that I didn't have. And I'm like, I am a sponge. And so I'm loving this and things I've learned from you as well. So if we were building a company together, Sophia, like, oh my gosh. This is the Renee and Sophia. I don't know what we would do, but it would be fun. Yes. It'd be fitness, something probably too. What would we keep from previous generations and what would we completely change?
Oh my gosh.
I think we would keep probably from my generation, we would keep the work ethic.
Oh, for sure.
And resiliency.
Oh,
because
for sure.
changes and things could happen. What about from your generation?
From my generation, I would reframe the belief that burnout and sacrificing yourself for the job is a badge of honor.
Okay. Yep. I agree with that one.
I think that the definition of performance and success needs to be reframed. Instead of
I agree with that.
Penalizing someone who got all their work done within hour 2 of their 8 or 9 hour workday, instead of penalizing them for going home 10 minutes earlier because they're done or they got to pick up a kid, they got to go to the doctor. Instead of penalizing that, I think a ton of it needs to be reframed like you're getting your stuff done, you're accountable. Go on. Go to your kid's soccer game. Go to dinner with your friends. You're all done. You got what needed to be done today and you're prepared for tomorrow. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Go live your life.
Not putting it as a timestamp.
Not like...
I like that. I agree. I completely agree with that because having, 3 kids, I was teen mom, room moms. I drove the bus from SCA. For all the sports.
My dad did that too.
I know. Your dad and I were riding buses. And... I always joke because people thought I was a realtor, but the amount of like hiding that I was going to a kid's game and I had my own business, but I was even hesitant to say it to clients or hesitant to and I love that that's kind of evolved, but I also do agree with you on the structure of a 40-hour work week. I think that is, I don't think that's necessary because there is productivity. Why would someone need to waste an extra 30 minutes just twiddling their thumbs and wasting time?
Going on their phone and counting down the hours?
I like that. I would take that.
If it takes you 8 hours a day to do something, great. If it takes you 4, great. Get it done and then go live your life. You shouldn't be ashamed that you have a life outside of your job, and you shouldn't be ashamed to share that without judgment.
Well, and there's a friend of mine, Jessica, and she's got a group. There's a lot of, I think they're all women. I think they have one man now. But there's so much flexibility of how they collaborate and work together. So there are groups of companies that do that, and they're a smaller company. But like if someone has kids events, they pick up the meetings, or a sick child has to leave. They're like, okay, we'll take your meetings, and then this way that when that individual comes back the next day, she's not coming back to all this backed up meetings because her team already picked up.
And she's also not coming back to that almost weird animosity or tension that she doesn't care about us because, oh my gosh, her kid's sick.
Couldn't she find somebody else to pick him up?
Couldn't she find someone when literally she couldn't?
That still exists.
And that still happens.
Oh, it's
and it needs to be like totally reframed and reworked.
I completely agree because I've definitely seen that myself. So now what's one stereotype your generation wishes would disappear?
That we're lazy and don't want to work, to put it plainly.
Yeah, and I changed. I did feel that way.
Because I'll give you that some of us are like that, but obviously not me. But we aren't afraid of work. We're getting caught up in the corporate ladder and what we witnessed from our parents and that work consuming us. And we just feel like just a body going through a simulation.
Well, I think you read my book too. I talk about circles versus ladders because I do agree with this. So one of the things about my generation that I think we need to refrain is because we didn't know, what is it saying? We didn't know it, but we all learned from the previous generation. So what I would challenge other people that are, maybe on the older millennial, Gen X, but baby boomers, is to take a step back. Now, obviously I took a significant step back, but to also look at it from a new lens, because I do what I've learned and seen. I wouldn't have done it the same way if I had this, because I really think there's smarter ways of doing it. Now, of course, technology and other things have advanced. But yeah, I think that there's such remarkable ways that, and maybe we'll see how the income potential changes or things like that as the time goes on. But I definitely think that for me, I hope for my generations and those around that they look at things from a different set of eyes and stop those old beliefs. So,
and I totally think also with the technology standpoint, it should be used with technology advancing. It should be a kind of a positive, not a negative, because I feel like with technology, and we're all so interconnected, you're never really offline.
I know.
You can get emails at like 3 a.m. by your boss. I
have to send delays sometimes because I'm up at 4. Yeah.
And it's just crazy how connected we are and how automated things are. And I don't think with technology getting more advanced, that should necessarily make us be on all the time and work twice as hard because technology, you can get so much output because of technology. That should mean you don't have to work as long because of technology. You can do this in 1 hour, so do this all day.
One of my coaches is like 32, works Tuesdays and Fridays, and makes about $5 million a year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
there's
technology you can use. So yeah, and one of the things we've done as a family, we play what do you like about me, what do you not like about me, and which with your family, with your athletes, it can get my kids.
Oh my gosh.
But one of the first things, it can get really bad. But one of the things was the kids had told me years ago was me standing at the kitchen. I'd come home from a day of work and had my laptop at the kitchen counter, so I stopped that. I still periodically have it. I shouldn't say 100%, but I don't do that like I used to. I mean, I guess I don't have to now. But so if you could give career, as we close and get to the lightning round, if you could give one piece of career advice to someone entering the workforce today, one of your colleagues or peers, what would you say?
I would say number one, find a mentor. It has been extremely helpful having you steering me in the right direction. And I don't have to be totally like corporate and fake. I can be real with you. You'll be real with me in return.
Oh yeah.
And that is just an amazing relationship to having.
I've loved our conversation.
I know, it was so great. And that is just a relationship that has been extremely valuable to me, especially navigating my new professional career and the avenues I want to go down. I would say number one, find a mentor. It doesn't have to be in a related field you want to work in, but someone who's gone through life and gone through the workforce and knows what to do and what not to do. And how to talk to certain people, how to not talk to people. It's been amazing. And I would say number two is learn everything you can and be dependable. Because at the end of the day, just be a sponge. Even if you don't care about it, learn it. Because you never know when it might be useful to you in the future.
Well, I love that. And I didn't realize, I always thought I was going into, because I just absolutely love our conversations and others that I've had. And I used to go into them thinking I was the one teaching everyone. And then I started learning myself. So I just get just as much. So thank you for that. So we're going to do a lightning round. I'm going to just give you just a start and have you complete the sentences. Okay? So success is
becoming the person God created you to be, and through that, helping and stewarding others and transforming the lives of others.
I love that. Purpose is?
I kind of want to piggyback off of that, using the tools and gifts you have in order to help and serve others.
Love that. A leader I admire is?
My dad. Yes. He always makes the people around him feel better, and he brings the best out of people.
He's a light.
And he's just a light, and he's also a great teacher.
Yes, I love that. Work should make people feel
challenged, valued, and internally fulfilled.
I love that. My generation is often misunderstood because
people mistake our way of challenging the system as entitlement and a lack of work ethic, but we aren't afraid of hard work. We aren't afraid of starting from the bottom and doing the work no one wants to do. We just don't want it to consume our every living being of our lives and leak into other aspects in our life and then just becoming just a complete mess. We just want our work to be in our life, but not consume it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because Ethan did say to me, just the work is not the identity anymore as the coming up. It not wanting to be the identity, whereas ours became our identity.
It's a form of support.
Yeah.
You need work to support yourself, but it shouldn't be who you are.
Yeah, I love that. And the last one is one thing I hope my generation never loses.
Like I said before, I hope we never lose our willingness to challenge the system and ask questions. I think that is so powerful.
I agree.
We witnessed a ton of people just sitting back and being, okay, I guess this is the way it is. I'm comfortable here, even though I internally am not okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think that is a tool that my generation needs to keep up and strategically use, especially when situations aren't going their way, or even when situations are harmful.
Yes.
It's important to ask questions and ask why.
Well, I love that. I think some challenges I went through in my industry on something that was brushed under the rug. And so it's just, I think, having the next generation coming in, and I think with more women like you, I love that.
Oh, thank you.
So in closing, Sophia, when you're my age, what do you hope your generation is known for?
Oh my gosh. I hope that we're known for that you can build a successful business and have a successful career and work incredibly hard, but you're also able to prioritize family, health, relationships, and your faith and purpose. I think we're the generation that wants not only work-life balance, but work to be able to support our life. We want to have both. You can't just have work and then have a little tiny sliver to live your life on Fridays or Saturdays and Sundays.
Well, I love that, because then I think, in how we've built the foundation, I think we're paving the way to allow for that. I don't think that could have happened without us.
Yeah.
So every generation we learn something from.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm going to take some credit from our generation, the other, because I think that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be very possible.
You taught us definitely the resilience and work ethic, and I am so incredibly thankful. But you also taught us that things don't always have to be the way that they are.
Yeah.
Change is allowed. People are allowed.
Change is good.
Yeah, change is good.
Yeah. Well, I always say get uncomfortable. So
yes,
I love this. So now everyone can connect with you, I think, on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Right? Not that you always check it, but you will.
Yeah, Sophia Wadsworth, MHR.
Yes.
I think that's my handle.
I love it. I love it. So thank you so much. I love this.
This was amazing.
This is so much fun. So this week's LightWork Challenge is simple. Find someone at least 20 years younger. Obviously not you. You'd be older. Or older if you're, the younger generation. And ask them a question. What do you wish my generation understood? And just listen. So it's not about proving who's right. It's just being a bridge and understanding and learning. Because me personally, those questions have fulfilled me more than I realized. And I love it. So that's my challenge for all of you. So if today's conversation resonated with you, or you think someone else should listen to it, please share it and follow us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And if you feel so inclined, I'd love a 5-star rating. Also, if you haven't already gotten my book, it's LightWork, Life Beyond the Ladder on Amazon. Thank you. It talks a lot about, just kind of a little bit of what we talked about of living a life well lived. And when you look back of saying, I've lived a life of significance, not just success. So until next time, listeners, go out there and spread your light. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.